yes, and welcome to the FIFA eClub World Cup Championships, coming to you live from Milan. I can't believe it. This is the final moments of the championship, and very, very soon we are going to be crowning the winner. Now, if you've just tuned in and you're wondering how we got to the point and who's even in the final, let's check out what went down in those semi-finals.
It's R9, goes left, and it's a huge save. Chance for Messi, and it's into the back of the net as well. The full-time whistle is blown, and Complexity Gaming write themselves into the history books with a grand final place. Cristiano Ronaldo, and the first goal of the game goes to Fnatic. Frankie de Jong inside the box, and Frankie de Jong! Great ball in here to R9, massive chance! Game 11s have tied it up, and Resende is roaring! Ball whipped into Van Dijk, sent across goal, strike! Space on the edge of the box though for Lionel Messi, on that left foot, R9!
It's the FIFA eClub World Cup Final, coming to you live from Milan. 11s face off against Complexity Gaming. Well, I'm joined by my wingman for the weekend, Mr. Spencer Owen, and it's been an amazing ride all the way up until this point. There's a few little shocks here and there. What's been kind of some of your favourite moments?
If you can guarantee anything at any kind of professional FIFA event, there's always some shocks, because there's so many good players, and you kind of try and draw a line of best fit from each other event. It never lives up to the way you think it's going to be. We could have had a Roma Fnatic final, two teams from the same management. Instead, neither of them got through, and we've got Complexity going up against 11s. I think the Gareth Bale storyline's amazing. You know, he's just come into esports. He probably thinks it's really easy, because his first tournament in charge of his team, they made it to the final. They could still win the whole thing, but Complexity are standing in their way.
Well, if you don't know about this Gareth Bale story, we've got a little bit of info to throw your way.
Football. I love the game, the way it unites so many people. But I want to take it a step further. I'm recruiting a team, and I'm looking for players.
Stop searching, Gareth. You are looking for me. Born in Anápolis, Brazil. My specialty, defending by attack.
Okay, we're getting started, but one player doesn't make a team.
Tyler Phillips, living in Newport, Wales. This team needs some more Welsh in it, Gareth. Master of the counter-attack.
On top of all that, I, Ethan Higgins, will be supplying the perfect cutbacks from Birmingham, England.
And of course, the team needs content, for which we need a creator.
My name is Tom Linnell, and I've been making YouTube videos for 4 years.
Come on! This is 11s. Time to play.
So it's a pretty amazing story, and what's kind of cool is now obviously, you know, Gareth Bale sitting at home with a cup of tea being like, yeah, I knew it, and there must be other footballers out there who are like, ooh, you know what, actually, maybe I could get a little team together. What do you reckon?
I mean, I think there's been a few that have been involved previously, and there's a few that I think are getting involved. I think Griezmann has mentioned he wants to get into esports as well, so certainly setting a good example is Gareth, but then obviously they're going up against Complexity, a team that's already been well established in esports for quite some time, and they've got Yoxan, who's a player who had a fantastic year last year, and Maxi VIP coming in as well, and creating a great team with great 2v2 particularly, really solid.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a really, really interesting one to watch. But, you know, obviously, eClub obviously has a special place, you know, in the kind of FIFA season. So why don't we take a quick look how it fits into the whole FIFA season itself?
There's different amounts of points available for the Global Series leaderboard at every single tournament throughout the year, but a 2,000-point tournament is a big one. There's only a few times you can get that many points. At the FUT Champions Cups, you see at the top of the screen, and at the FIFA Majors, of which this is one, and we've got the eNations Cup coming up shortly as well.
And also, I mean, we should not forget the fact that they also win a pile of cash.
There's a lovely bit of cash, $100,000 prize pot for this tournament, $40,000 to the winners. And if they get the points as well, they'll be trying to get to the playoffs.
Of course.
If you're in the top 64 come the playoffs, that's how you qualify. Then you want to be in the top 16 on your console to get a place at the FIFA E World Cup, which is the kind of climax of the competitive season.
Yeah, I think everybody wants to make sure that they can get there. And I also believe that whilst you are watching at home, you could be given perhaps a little treat, a little reward. Spencer's got something for you, dropping in your DMs.
Yeah, there is.
Sorry.
There is Twitch drops throughout the weekend. We've been dropping lots of things in. I think Prime Icon Thierry Henry was done earlier on, as well as Team of the Year De Jong. I've been informed that 8,000 rare mixed player packs have also been dropped. It's 8,000 packs, Julia. It's a lot of packs.
That is a lot of packs.
That's not to one person, by the way. 8,000 people can get a pack.
10 years later.
But yeah, you've got to make sure you've linked your Twitch and EA accounts, of course, not just for this stream, but future streams as well. Make sure you've got it linked, keep it linked, and you might get very lucky.
Well, I think we should kick off this final. What do you say, everybody?
Let's go.
Yes, let's go meet the teams. There we go. We have Team 11s and Team Complexity going head to head. Let's hear it for them, everybody.
So Ethan and Resende on 11s, who have been really impressive throughout the weekend, of course. And you've got Yoxan and Maxi on Complexity. I honestly can't call this one. I've been speaking to people behind the scenes, asking them for a prediction. It's about 50-50, to be honest. I
don't know. I think we've had so many shocks, and because it all just comes down to this moment. Whatever happened before doesn't even matter. It's all about these matches now. So anybody's game.
And we know the format, right? The format is the 1v1 to start things off. Not the most important game. Sometimes you can win that game, as we saw in Fnatic, and still lose the next two. It doesn't work out for you, but it allows you to put a bit of pressure on. 2v2 follows, if necessary, the final 1v1 on the opposite console from where we started.
I think we should stop talking and just let the football speak for itself. Let's chuck it over to the casters and get this final underway. Let's hear it!
Thank you very much, guys. And yes, we are finally here at the grand final of the eClub World Cup. It started late last year. Qualifiers, of course, 190 teams tried their best to ensure they could be part of that 24 that made it to Milan. It's been 3 days of action, Richard, and now we've got 2 teams left in our grand final.
Loving me a bit of fan participation as well in the intro. Just a quick note as well, I thought it was quite interesting to point out. Everyone said Group A and C were the 2 favourite groups. They were the groups of death. Yep. These 2 teams from Groups B and D. So it just shows that FIFA eSports full of shocks. Team 11s and Complexity facing off. How do they get on in the bracket play? Looking at Team 11s, it was a win and a draw against Footways Australia going into the quarter-finals. They got the job done against NASA eSports, 1-0, 1-1. And then you see in the semi-finals, the victory against Fnatic. It was a 3-0 loss for Ethan in the first game, and then a 1-0 2v2 win and a 1-0 victory in the Resende match against Tex. He got the job done.
Yeah, he did indeed. What a turnaround it was by Team 11s in their first real major event on the global stage. On the other side of that, as you said, Complexity Gaming topped their Group D, made it through to that round of 16 where they were able to carry over that form into Championship Sunday. They went up against Team Neo, the duo of Grilla and Stokes, picked up a result there, and then were able to win against AS Roma Esports to book themselves a place in this grand final, which we must add, $40,000 on the line to whoever can come out on top. And also, Richard, a huge 2,000 Global Series points each. That's per player.
Which will pretty much guarantee the winning team, both for their 2 players on the PlayStation and Xbox Global Series rankings, a grand final spot. The first game that we're going to get underway with is going to be Joxan against Ethan. It was Complexity's pick on which console they wanted to start with. Looking at Joxan, 32nd in the world on the Global Series rankings before this event took place. On the other side of that, Ethan, 32nd as well, so they're joint on the same points.
Yeah, joining the exact same points as well. Just for getting to this grand final, Richard, they're already guaranteed 1,400 Global Series points. That will push them into the top 10. A win, though, could put you into the top 5, which is huge. Bearing in mind, we're only in February at this moment in time. It's going to be kicked off on the PlayStation as well, so it'll be Ethan up against Joxan. This is your grand final, live from the FIFA eClub World Cup here in Milan. We're underway. It'll be 11s kicking from left to right, and it'll be Joxan from right to left. What a dream story it has been for both of these 2 teams.
100%. You look at Team 11s, how they've bonded as well if you hear it actually in the 1v1s when I should say Resende is playing on the Xbox, it's all vamos, it's all in Portuguese. You hear him in the 2v2s, he's shouting, come on, let's go. He's picking up the English from Ethan. I almost look at it as sort of two brothers as well. They're not brothers, no relation, but Resende sort of taking Ethan under his wing a little bit. He's got a superior Xbox experience, LAN experience as well. And Ethan blossoming right before our eyes here in a final.
Much said about the format, Richard. It'll be PlayStation 4 1v1, then we jump into a 2v2, as seen previously in the knockout stages since the round of 16 onwards. And if it is needed, we will go to a third and final game, which we played on Xbox, and that'll be between Maxi and Resende. Resende obviously knocking out that Team Fnatic with a big result in the third game. It all came down to him. He was able to pull off the job. Here's a chance early doors for Complexity Gaming. It's going to be R9 into Messi. Chance for Mbappe. It's going to fall back to the Argentine, though it's not. It's just has been defended well.
And given that we are only playing in one leg of FIFA, from what we've seen so far, there's not been a huge abundance of goals. It's been 0-0s, 1-0s. Getting small victories where you can, which in the grand scheme of things make a huge difference for then the 2v2. If you win your first leg, the only thing you need to do is get a draw in the second leg. A win and a draw is enough for you to lift the Club World Cup trophy.
Sure, there would have been a few nerves hanging around before this grand final. So to wait 30 minutes or so to get the games going, but as you said, Complexity Gaming made that choice. They wanted to play the first leg on PlayStation 4, and that suggests that Joxan feeling the stronger of the two players heading into this final, and a lot more LAN experience as well. Does sit slightly higher on the Global Series rankings, of course, on the PlayStation rankings, that is.
You see overload ball side there used for Ethan in the bottom left corner. He's been a big advocate for that throughout the tournament, and it's helped him in getting to these finals in one leg of FIFA. Keep it narrow, keep it tight.
This is nice from Mbappe. A few ball rolls, just zips that across the box, but Vieira gets rid. And a word on there. PlayStation 4 1v1 performances in the group stages, Richard. Both players did suffer 2 defeats. They haven't been perfect. I was playing on their own consoles, and it has to be something that we look at. There wasn't many stand-out 1v1 players other than the likes of Spidercon, Tom, obviously from Fnatic.
His namesake as well, Stokes, very good in the 1v1s, until he did lose to the hands of Joxan right there in the quarter-finals.
So many big shots today into R9. Can Messi latch onto it? All slightly too heavy. Allison able to kill the danger. Word as well. Both of these two, they didn't need a coach this weekend, and well, they needed each other.
Complexity being slowly going about their business throughout the tournament until you'd probably say the quarterfinals, when they caught everyone's attention with that victory, that near victory over Team Neo, who a lot of people were sort of backing as one of the favourites. Playoffs champion, former E-World Cup champion in Stokes and Gorilla. Joxan and Maxi have been doing the business.
It also means as well, Richard, we will 100% be seeing a new eClub World Cup champion after Fnatic obviously got knocked out with previous winner Tex, and we saw FC Basel fall out of the tournament also heading into today. There will be a new winner and more history will be created. This time, the first time that there's been a major tournament out here in Italy. Milan has played host for some huge matches.
Who will be joining Bromby and King Esports in the Club World Cup history books.
It's going to be exciting as well to see that 2v2 matchup. It will be played on Xbox after this game. Here's Complexity Gaming now with Ruud Gullit into R9. Messi's going to find it, and Messi's going to find the finish as well. A massive stop to this grand final. 4 complexity game, and it's Joksan with a goal, and it's Messi with a magical finish inside the box.
So how he built into the attack there, slow build-up play. A little bit fortunate for Messi. I think he just got in front of Patrick Vieira inside the box. You'd probably be asking on another day Vieira to deal with the danger there. Let the AI maybe look onto that, but Messi nipped in front of him. Slotted past the goalkeeper from close range, and perfect time to score a goal just on the fringe of half-time for Joksan. We know how good of a defensive player he is.
You touched upon it earlier, Rich. You said the game right now is really suiting him.
Speaking to a number of the teams that they've actually beaten in the knockouts, we've talked about how Joksan in his games and in the 2v2s has been instrumental in the defensive shape and structure of this team complexity run to the final.
Well, Evans must respond. We'll get one more chance if they can hold on to the ball. It has been given straight back to complexity game in added time of 2 minutes. 1 minute's already been played. Perfect time to score a goal as well for Joksan. And before this grand final, just saw him walking around the venue with his headphones in, psyching himself up for this final. It's actually going to fall back to Ronaldo. What can we see here? Little reverse elastico from him.
Oh no.
Back to CR7. Just about dealt with.
I'll tell you what, that could have been dangerous for Ethan. Just looking at the stats there at half-time, only a shot being registered, and it was the shot that did go in. 90% passing accuracy for Joksan. You see the goal that separates the two sides at half-time here. R9. Just look at Messi, peel off his man there, off of Vieira. It sort of got played into Vieira, in behind him. Look at the reaction from Joksan. The goal that separates the two sides.
At the break, and might be able to listen in to what Resende, of course, is saying to Ethan in complexity, or I should say 11's booth. Obviously, complexity game in Maxi behind Joksan for this matchup. As you said, it was a 40th minute finish from Messi to get this grand final underway. We're in leg 1 at the moment. PlayStation 4, then we will be going over to the 2v2 game over on Xbox, which would mean if the score does stay as it is, 11's must win that 2v2 game. They did enough to beat Fnatic on the 2v2, Richard. There's plenty of time left before we get there.
If it does go down to the 2v2, both of these two sides have shown that they can grind out a result. Whether that's a draw is the only thing necessary for Joksan. You can see Mikael Darrian there on your screen on the left-hand side. He's been a big fan and a big supporter of Joksan throughout his competitive career. He'll be supporting this team complexity roster.
Even enjoying a bit of time on camera as well. We heard it from many of the pros that may have fallen in this tournament in the group stages or the knockouts. It's very unpredictable to call which way this is going to go. And it kind of has helped both of these teams not really getting much hype before coming into this eClub World Cup, not really being called the favourites as such. They've backed it up. Top in the group, complexity in that Group D, and at the moment dominating this grand final, leaded by a goal to nil. You said it perfectly, Joksan. He can defend well. Every single complexity shirt is back behind the ball at the moment.
You just see him moving left to right with Leo Messi there, trying to mark the passing lanes. This is the perfect situation right now for Joksan. We saw him win trophies and championships last season. The main reason he was winning through his defensive capabilities. Playing directly into his hands right now this series, and a pause cue there by 11's. They know something has to change here.
Especially with time running out. Even a draw, Richard, would allow that 2v2 game to open up a little bit more.
if you lose the first leg, it's must win in the 2v2. It gives the winning side a huge cushion to sit on.
They've come back from a position like this before, as we mentioned. Their semi-final was a repeat scenario. They lost the first game to Tom. Here's a chance for Ethan now. Mane. Well defended by Vieira, out for a corner, then into the team management. We will go for both teams.
You've seen this change quite a lot from Joksan throughout this tournament. Sadio Mane and N'Golo Kante both coming on for the American on the side of Ethan on the left-hand side of your screen. What are the changes that we're looking at?
I think number one, Richard, a lot more attacking.
Formation change, yeah.
In his custom tactics, there's obviously going to be more pressure going forward.
Into a 4-2-2.
Here we go, back into the action. Just over 25 minutes left. Here's a corner to 11s. This is Ethan. Currently trailing by a goal to nil. That goal came in the first half from Messi. In it goes, Trent Alexander-Arnold into Cristiano Ronaldo. He timed it green, Richard, but still went over the bar.
Yeah, maybe a little bit too good of a connection on that from Cristiano. Corner whipped straight into the box. You saw him flick with his right stick onto the play that he wanted to control.
Alexander-Arnold there on the ball, the man that delivered the perfect cross into Cristiano Ronaldo. Another day, that would at least hit the target. Just glanced over the bar. From that team of the year. Item that he does provide. Another corner. Good pressure, good signs from Ethan. Again, will it be taken direct play? Short this time to Andy Robertson. He looks across it to the box. I don't think so. Instead, try and work the byline. The two fullbacks doing it as well. Left back and right back in the team. And a chance to break away now for Joksan.
I'm just looking at the bottom of the mini-map there. Doesn't have that many players going forward in the smart decision to keep hold of the ball, recycle across the pitch, and drain that clock down.
Another pause cued by 11s. Another attacking change with just 15 minutes left. They will have the advantage moving into the second leg. Will complexity.
Keeping the ball like this, suffocating your opponent like a boa constrictor, strangling the life out of your opponent. It has to break free.
Well, it was a little bit heavy there. Mbappe doing enough to keep it in possession. Frankie de Jong. CR7 who's already come close once. And that was nice from him. Just couldn't break that final man down.
Yeah, Lasco inside the box, but there's too many complexity shirts back there. You can see the press, the switch of play. It's being marked right now. Ethan putting more players forward. There is going to be room at the back, but
Messi's through. It's going to be onside as well if he times it. R9's in the middle, towards the back post. It's going to be two, and there will be a huge advantage moving into the second leg for Complexity Gaming. Sadio Mane doubles the lead, and Joksan looks to look on for a win in this PlayStation 4 game.
That's the risk that you take when you put players forward, but you have to go for at least a draw to give your team a better opportunity to get a victory in the final. Whipped into the back post, Sadio Mane on the left foot, acres of room, and finishes.
It's surely got to be done, Richard. First leg, 2-0.
Yeah, you definitely think so.
With a little time left.
But if you heard there, just Maxi VIP in the booth saying drop back. Just see this game out. No need to take a risk. You're 2-0 up with 7-8 minutes left on the clock.
It's not like we're playing for pennies, Richard. We're playing for thousands. $40,000 on the line in this FIFA eClub World Cup Grand Final. You're not going to be throwing away a 2-goal lead. Free at the back for Ethan. Constant pressure, and you expect those sliders to go up to the highest possible position they can. Press, press, press will be the command that Resende will be saying to him.
Fast build-up, all of the players on steer forward. 3-4-1-2, the formation of choice for Ethan. 9 minutes left. We've seen
not much time, is it?
2 goals would be a massive win for him. to get a draw out of this game would feel like a win. It'd feel like a loss for Complexity. But it's a massive task for Ethan to undertake.
The visitors coming off the pitch.
Could say it's deja vu. He did lose
To be replaced by
his semi-final leg. It was the first leg, 4-11s. Losing against Fnatic Tom. They did bounce back in the 2v2 and then went on and won the third and final matchup. Surely to put this game to bed. There's not many people at the back. Joksan plays it towards the back post, surely inside to Ronaldo. Instead it will be saved by Allison, but there's only 4 minutes left.
There's just that attack right there seals the game. You go forward, you drain the time off of your clock. And with seconds remaining, Complexity will take a huge win in game 1 here in the final.
And it will be down to the 2v2, Richie. We move into that 2v2 game now, which will be played on Xbox. It's all to do for 11s. They've done it before. Is it going to be 3? Few step overs from Cristiano Ronaldo. He's having fun. Joksan's having fun. He's 2-0 up. Waiting for that full-time whistle. Even if Ethan was to score now, it will be game over. 1 minute already played of additional time. It'll be nothing more than a consolation if you can find the back of the net. It's defended well. The ball's everywhere. Get rid of it. Referee, we've played the 2 additional minutes we've needed to. R9. Where's he going? There we go. Full time. Joksan takes a huge stride forward to picking up the trophy here in Milan. 2-0 win, a confident win, and he's just backing up what he's done all tournament long.
Setting Complexity off in the perfect way was Joksan right there. You see the bracket, 3 points on the board. 1 draw is needed, Brandon.
It is indeed. That is a huge leg number 1. We will be going into a 2v2 when we come back for this very short break. But yeah, it's all to do, Richard, here in Milan. $40,000 in the line. We'll be back shortly. Do not go anywhere. So this is where it stands, ladies and gentlemen, in our grand final. Complexity Gaming with the advantage after the first 1v1. They now go into our second leg here, the 2v2, just looking to close things out.
Yeah, they've got 3 points from that initial 1v1, so they just need a point, and they will be our champions here at the eClub World Cup. Complexity, a team that probably weren't expected to be here in this final, but they have definitely deserved to be.
Yeah, welcome back, everybody, to the FIFA eClub World Cup. Mark Hatchett and Dan Gaskin here to guide you through the second game of our final, and it's 2v2 time, Dan. It's been such a decisive feature of the FIFA eClub World Cup, and once again, an opportunity here for Complexity to make it count.
Yeah, and Complexity's record, actually, they have taken it off of Fnatic as being the best 2v2 team after their victory in the semi-final. 5 wins and 3 draws, so they're actually even unbeaten in 2v2 competition. For 11s, however, they have 2 wins in 2v2, 5 draws and 1 loss.
Well, here's the story of the first game of our grand finals, and Joxan got the job done for Complexity. It was a 2-0 victory over his opponent from 11's, Ethan, and it was a pretty conclusive one as that.
Yeah, you can see that Resende was just trying to say to him, look, don't worry about it, it's fine, you can get back into it, but he wasn't able to get back into it. Joxan kept pressing, and he was able to find his second. He celebrates, but he says, look, job's not done yet. I've done my part, but we still have to get a result in the 2v2.
Now, if you look back to our semi-finals, 11s were in the same situation against Fnatic. They lost that first game, but here, in the second leg in the 2v2, they pulled it back. They got the win they needed to send it to a game 3.
They have to change the unbeaten 2v2 record of Complexity if they're going to have a chance to lift the title here at the eClub World Cup. If Complexity get just 1 point, however, they will be our champions.
So we're underway then, 11's in the red again. Complexity. In the Complexity eSports blue. We'll be shooting from right to left. And early on here, Cristiano Ronaldo's jumped in to pick up possession for Complexity.
Complexity, who throughout the tournament have only conceded 1 goal in 2v2 competition. Really incredible if you look at it, just the fact they've been able to be so solid at the back, and if they can carry on, if they can keep a clean sheet, it's as simple as that, they will win the tournament. But 11s have been scoring plenty of goals in 2v2 as well, and they need to find that form, and they need to find it quickly.
A couple of strong tackles there in the fullback position from Carlos Alberto. Unfortunately for Complexity, the ball now rolls out of place and will be in the hands of 11s. You can see the controllers in the hands of 11s there as well. They've certainly got it all to do, somewhat of an uphill battle, but they've already proven, like I mentioned a little bit earlier, Dan, that they can get the job done.
Yeah, they just need that first goal, and this is here for the taking, and they can go into that third leg, go into that decisive third and final matchup.
Well, here's Frankie de Jong dribbling towards goal, into the feet of R9, and there is that goal! 11s just do not say die once again.
Resende screams into the face of Ethan, as once again on the turn manages to find a goal with R9. Are we going to see history repeating itself yet again from 11s? Backs against the wall, but it just seems like they love the 2v2. Complexity only conceding their second goal of the tournament in 2v2 competition. And we do have a grand final on our hands now.
The touch paper has indeed been lit in our grand final. Just what the neutral would have wanted, just what the 11s fans would have wanted. They need the win here to once again give Resende a chance. So this time go at Maxi VIP in a 1v1 game afterwards, but a long way to go in this game, and Complexity, they're going to want to answer back here almost immediately as R9 turns away. Chance for a strike on that left foot. Stands the ball up to Kevin De Bruyne, almost gets the ball through. For Matthijs de Ligt getting a leg on that one.
A little bit of hesitancy in defence from 11s. It's like both of them didn't really know who was going to press on, who was going to push. Thankfully, the pass wasn't able to break through, but they need to be a little bit better in defence. They need to make sure they're switched on and they're communicating well. If you both try and press the same player, you're going to leave gaps in the back.
Well, that high press has allowed 11s to get the ball back here. And once again, they're moving towards goal. Great overlapping run there from Sadio Mane. And he will beat Virgil van Dijk to the ball, something we haven't said too much throughout this tournament. Ruud Gullit now. De Jong with space. Maybe a chance to strike a goal! Just wide of the upright.
Worth a pop from there. Almost beating Alisson. And Complexity certainly on the back foot, and this is perfect for 11s.
And again, De Jong wins the ball back high up the pitch, this time from the goal kick, and Mbappe harassing Robertson there, trying to put him under pressure, but Complexity deal with that. And momentarily get it away, but there's Mbappe in on goal now, on the right foot, strikes across goal, safe from Alisson, but straight into the path of Mane, who cannot convert.
And it's all 11s at the moment. So close to making it 2. Great idea just to take a pop, try and force the save out of the keeper, because 9 times out of 10 they are going to punch it into the path of the left winger. And the thing is, Complexity, they're going to be coming at 11s because they've got nothing to lose here, and this is what 11s want. They want Complexity out of their shell so they can hit them on the break.
And again, it was high press there from 11s. Frankie de Jong once again won the ball momentarily, but Complexity have managed to get the ball back. But saying that, 11s now with Kylian Mbappe. Get possession of the football back themselves.
Good switch of play though. A great ball down the left-hand side, really taking advantage of overload ball side there, and the space it leaves with these fullbacks.
Mane resets here to Robertson. Just on the half-hour mark now in this 2v2, the second leg of our grand final. Around the corner to Cristiano Ronaldo. He'll make the most of that and bully his way towards goal. Patrick Vieira, though, solid as ever.
And that is what Cristiano Ronaldo offers, isn't it? He just can bully opposition, especially the fullbacks. Some of the weaker fullbacks, or some of the fullbacks that sometimes get out of position. Robertson, for example, at left-back has just been torn apart by Ronaldo all tournament long. It's why we've seen Mendy just being pretty much the favourite at left-back, because he manages to keep up with him. Has some decent strength statistics too.
On off the ball here from Lionel Messi, receives the pass from a teammate. De Bruyne and Hullet combining, lovely little lofted pass there into the feet of R9, who looked for a reverse ball there, and ooh, a little bit of a risk taken by 11s, but they get away with it.
They look nervous at the back to 11s, but Complexity certainly are pushing, and that is allowing there to be space.
And you have to say, for a grand final, Dan, and for the situation here, this has been a very, very open game. Both teams wanting to attack, wanting to score goals and create chances.
Well, these are also featuring some players who just aren't used to grand final conditions.
Great ball round the corner here to Ruud Hullet. Turns back onto that right foot. Ball across here. Little touch out of his feet! And the touch out of his feet is good enough to create the chance to strike. And Cristiano Ronaldo into that near post doubles the lead here for 11s.
And it was such a heavy touch. I thought, surely you're not going to take that on Ronaldo's left foot. But there was space, it opened up. And one thing Ronaldo does well is if he has a clear sight line, he just manages to find the back of the net time and time again. And even though I'm saying this, some of these players haven't been in a grand final situation before. Maxi VIP had never even been in a Championship Sunday before. Ethan never found himself in a final. But here they are, performing when it matters.
Incredible stuff here from 11s. Just to put it in context again, they needed to win this 2v2 to have any chance of sending it to a third leg here, giving Resende the chance to take on Maxi VIP.
And Complexity hadn't lost a 2v2 game before this. They may still not lose, they still have 45 minutes. But to break that duck, to break that record when your back's against the wall like that, just shows how incredible 11s are playing in 2v2 games right now.
Well, a goal here for Complexity might just change the outlook of this final. Ronaldo has the shot, falls to De Bruyne, twists and turns. Can't find the space to get the shot away, though. Here's R9, back to De Bruyne, squeezes it through here to Messi. De Jong finally clears the lines, and at half-time here, 11s again are doing everything they can to turn this final around.
11s do look shaky at the back at times, but they just managed to get that final tackle in at the last minute. And these are the goals, though. An early one, just to set this final alight, and honestly, a great turn from R9. Look at the intensity in the eyes of Resende as well. I'm not sure I'd like to play alongside him.
It's one of those things, I think, having just watched what happened, Resende kind of feel like he There's nothing he could have done in that first leg. He's completely taken out of the equation, but now that he's back in the game, you can see he's taken the game by the scruff of his neck, and if it goes to that third leg, I mean, you can see how much this means to him. I think he wants the opportunity to win this competition.
Well, I mean, Jockstan won his 1v1 against Ethan. It was experience versus inexperience, and it was to be expected. But if we get into that third match, you could say it's the same again. Resende, who has the experience, he has the history against Maxi VIP, who's not been in a championship Sunday before. So this 2v2 victory could be absolutely massive for 11s.
Space here for Kylian Mbappe and 11s on that right-hand side. And Complexity are going to start having to push forward a little bit more if they want to try and get the 2 goals they need at this stage to close out this final. They only need a point, remember. And if 11s can find 2 goals in one half, there's no reason that Complexity can't do the same. However, 11s again on the attack, and space here for that wide cam to attack. Unfortunately for 11s, Robertson got back into position quickly to cut that out.
And even though 11s will be keen to get a third and try and put this game to bed, they have to be very careful about this counter-attack.
Ruud Gullit's found space here. He's trying to bundle his way through. And how do you counteract Ruud Gullit? The Gullit of your own.
But this is what they've got on offer now. Complexity are going forward, so 11s are going to have so much room in behind.
And Carlos Alberto is struggling to keep up with the pace of Sadio Mane. He does well, though, to get back into position, but experience again here from 11s, just recycling the play, realising they have that 2-goal advantage and not having to press too high up the pitch.
Yeah, really sensible. They don't have to take any risks at this point. Just play your normal game, keep possession, frustrate your opponent, and if an opportunity presents itself, then you take that opportunity, then you start to push. When it feels right, when it feels natural, don't try and force it. These are both of the tactic screens for Complexity and 11s, though. Complexity clearly now just trying to push things forward, changing the formation so they can try and create more chances. For 11s, well, I mean, they don't really need to change much. They'll have a quick look in the player rating screen just to double check what the formation has been changed to so they can make sure they situate themselves correctly on the pitch.
I like the change to the 4-1-2-1-2 narrow here from Complexity as well. You think about the 4-4-2 they're going up against. There's going to be so many players, especially with potentially overloading the ball side as well. In-game tactic being employed. A lot of players central, so get as many attackers central as you can. Try and find players in space who could occupy those centre-backs, who could find those, as I say, those little pockets of space to link some passes up. With around 30 minutes left in the game, plus stoppage time, Complexity need to find a goal sooner rather than later.
I think they're going to make it very difficult for them, though, our 11s. They're going to hold on to the ball where they can.
Mbappe, though, Frankie de Jong, there was space there for R9, but elected not to shoot initially. Mane, tackle from De Bruyne, and here comes the break now from Complexity with players striding forward.
And they honestly, they need to find something soon, because if they don't, we're probably going to be going to a third leg. Really just need a goal, just to give them that little bit of hope that they can start clinging on to and thinking, all right, well, maybe we can get a draw here. But if 11s keep pressuring, if they keep playing the way they do, Complexity might be lacking confidence.
That's a huge tackle from Matthijs de Ligt there. You saw the run over his shoulder from Ronaldo. If he didn't make that, then that was a clear strike on goal for the Juve man. Frankie de Jong now spreads the play, and look at the space here for Robertson out wide.
One goes out of touch, though. Those are the kind of little situations where you do have to be careful. Ensure that you're not making any mistakes, because mistakes will allow Complexity to pounce on and potentially get back into this game. Still plenty of time for Complexity. I mean, in 2v2 it's slightly different because it is harder to break down a team who has men behind the ball. The Complexity have done it before.
Ronaldo gets the ball into the box. Mane maybe with a chance to shoot himself. He'll find a little pocket of space, but it was closed down almost immediately by the 2 centre-backs, and Alisson will just take his time to let 11's team find its shape again. Looks for a direct ball over the top, and you have to feel maybe 11's didn't need to do that.
It must be so difficult mentally as well for Maxi VIP right now to be thinking, all right, well, we're probably going to be losing this game. It means we'll be going to that third matchup, which means all of the responsibility comes down to me. All the pressure is going to be on my shoulders.
However, Sadio Mane has a chance to make this interesting. 2-1 now. Complexity back in the game, but not just back in the game. with time still left in the match to find an equaliser.
And that equaliser would be enough to win them the eClub World Cup. And pressure suddenly shifts back onto 11s with this being so close now. They cannot afford to make another mistake.
A moment of calm here then as we go back into the custom tactics screen. Patrick Vieira being brought on in central midfield there. I think you can see the game plan from 11s, what they want to do. They just need to see this out, Dan. Hold on for around 20 minutes or so.
Which is comfortable to do when you're at 2-0 up. At 2-1, however, they've already looked a little bit shaky at the back at times. Two men committing to one player here or there. All you need is that one player just to commit too much, and there is suddenly going to be a big gap at the back. Complexity have been so clinical in front of goal.
Goal for the visitors.
I don't think that this 2v2 is over just yet.
There's always one more chance in FIFA, as Richard Buckley would tell you. And with 15 minutes left in this game, in the 2v2, all of a sudden Resende might be thinking, might get the opportunity to impress once again in that game 3, and there's belief now in the minds of those two complexity players you can see in the bottom left-hand side of your screen.
And this is where Resende's experience, he needs to be giving it off to ETH one more and grab a draw. But they weren't able to grab a draw. Instead, the 3 points went to 11s, and we find ourselves going to a third and final decisive matchup. It's going to be a 1v1 matchup on the Xbox between Resende and Maxi VIP.
Certainly going to be an exciting conclusion to an absolutely insane tournament here at the FIFA eClub World Cup. 11's so close to a championship. And the interesting thing here as well is the fact that 11's actually took down Fnatic in a very similar way in our semi-finals. They were down in the first game, they won the 2v2, and then they won that third game. And on the stage right now is Tex and Tom from Fnatic. They're with Spencer.
Thanks, guys. Yes, I'm here with the Fnatic lads, and before we get on to talking about the Fnatic's tournament, let's talk about the games we've just seen and the third match we've got coming up. Who's your money on, fellas?
I think I would go for Resende after what I've watched of him. He's a very, very good player, but it's 50-50 because Max is just as good. Unfortunately, I haven't been able to watch much of his gameplay, but if you had to make me bet, I'd go for Resende.
Yeah, I'll go for Resende. He's been sick the whole tournament, to be honest. And yeah, Complexity have been good though. They came first in the group. I think they probably deserve to win on a whole, but I think Resende will take it.
It'll be fascinating to see what happens in that game. Talking about your guys' tournament, not a lot of time has passed since you went out there in the last round. How are you feeling about it? What are your thoughts?
I'm disappointed because I think for the first 60 minutes I was a better player, and then Resende turned into Dynamo from the corner and just did some mad tactic and smashed it top corner. Then yeah, that's that in best of one. And yeah, here we are now doing interviews and not playing.
Where do you go from here? Because you guys have obviously played together a few times now. You had the E-Nations last year. There's a chance we might see you again for the E-Lions in England this year coming up. Is there a reason that you guys think you're not, in the nicest way possible, you're billed as the early favourites and you've not quite lived up to that? Is there a reason you think?
I find it really hard to find a reason because both tournaments we played in, we've come out and smashed the groups, like finished really, really high. We've played well in every game, and I think both times we've been knocked out, we've considered ourselves unlucky. And hopefully for England, if we get it done, it can be third time lucky. I wouldn't be able to give you a reason though, because I think we're both really good. I hope we've proved that over this weekend, and yeah, third time is hopefully the charm.
I think what a lot of people don't see, Tex, is the qualification that goes into this event. You know, it's over quite quickly in the grand scheme of things. You've got the group stage, which is fairly involved with the 3 games, but then once you get to the knockouts, in some cases you just got those 2 matches. But talk to us about how long the process of qualifying was.
Mate, it takes years. Every weekend for like a month. I think it's every
Tuesday and Wednesday for 5 weeks straight. Yeah, we played 9 games of FIFA every week, and in the important week, he got virtually maximum points, which ensured us qualification. So obviously people are going to look and be like, oh, well, Tex lost that game, it must be his fault. But I'll be honest, the reason we're here is because of him. So I would never, ever think in that way, and I understand he's the best player in the world in my eyes, and a trophy will come soon. He's got enough anyway, though.
He's got enough trophies, yeah, you've got to share them out, Tex. Now, I think that's a really good point because people at home might think, you know, they see just the end part of the process, don't they? But it's a load of work that goes into it, and it's a team event for a reason. You don't get here by accident. You've shown a lot of team ability to get there in the first place. Even though it was 1v1 in qualification, you're cheering each other on, and you guys were actually playing in the same location.
Yeah, Fnatic HQ we're there, and then Tom went #HQ, and then we managed to qualify. But it's so fun playing together and being in the same room. It's just like different vibes, and I enjoy it. But yeah, we're out of the tournament. I'm not happy.
I know you're not happy, but let's look at the grand scheme of the year, okay? A lot of events still to come. There's a big majors like the E-Nation still to come. There's FUT Champs Cups, of course, playoffs and the Worlds as well. How are we feeling about the year? I mean, you're both looking very good in terms of points. We expect to see you both at the World Final now. What are your aims and ambitions for the rest of the calendar?
I think considering, I mean, I'm saying this on camera and people could probably clip this later in the year, but I think I have qualified for World Cup with my points. So now we both know we've got World Cup in the bag. I think it's about winning trophies. That attitude doesn't change at any stage. Like, I wasn't out there today thinking, oh, I need to do this for World Cup. It was more about how can we win the trophy. And I think with so many tournaments going on in the Global Series, so much prize money to be won, I think my main aim is just win a trophy at some stage. I can feel it coming, but just not yet.
And Tex, obviously, you've won a few trophies in your time already, but how hungry? I know you were particularly hungry going into this tournament, but how are you feeling the rest of the year? Like, you know, are we going to get back to the Tex that we saw last year and maybe see him coming through at the end of the year, which is the only place you faltered last year, which was almost a perfect year?
My aim this year is just to enjoy myself. Like, I just want to enjoy myself, to be honest. And if I'm enjoying myself, then I'll carry on playing. But like, say Paris doesn't go too well, I might just not play until playoffs. I might take a break because at the moment I hate every second of it. So yeah, see what happens.
They always say, find me a good loser and I'll find you a loser. You're not a good loser because you're a serial winner. And I'm sure we'll see both these guys winning again soon. But a shout out to the Fnatic boys. Best of luck in the next event. Now it's all about the big third match in the final. It's going the distance. Can't wait to see who comes out on top.
Amazing stuff to hear from the Fnatic boys there. So close to being in this grand final, but unfortunately just missed out on those last games.
It's good of Tom, though, to say, like, look, don't be blaming Tex, because naturally, like, our commentary, we're saying, well, Tex is the one who's technically let him down in the team, but it is a team event. Yes, okay, Tom, in that sense, he got the job done in that particular game, but he was quite right. Tex played phenomenal throughout qualification, phenomenal through Friday, through Saturday, and just because he had one off game, it doesn't matter. They were an amazing team, and they could have quite easily been in the final on another day. But honestly, I was very impressed with them, and a great interview. Great to see them happy.
Well, one team who have just turned the grand final around, of course, is 11s. And if you're wondering a little bit about 11s and a little story behind it, well, take a look at this.
Football. I love the game, the way it unites so many people. But I want to take it a step further. I'm recruiting a team, and I'm looking for players.
Stop searching, Garrett. You are looking for me. Born in Anápolis, Brazil. My specialty, defending by attack.
Okay, we're getting started, but one player doesn't make a team.
Tyler Phillips, living in Newport, Wales. This team needs some more Welsh in it, Gareth. Master of the counter-attack.
On top of all that, I, Ethan Higgins, will be supplying the perfect cutbacks from Birmingham, England.
And of course, the team needs content, for which we need a creator.
My name is Tom Linnell, and I've been making YouTube videos for 4 years.
Come on! This is 11s. Time to play.
This is 11s, and this is the final game here at the FIFA eClub World Cup. And for 11s to win a trophy in their first ever event as a squad, well, they've got to take down complexity.
Maxi VIP versus Resende. Resende's 1v1 form, very impressive. 5 wins, 1 draw, 1 loss. For Maxi VIP, 2 wins, 3 draws, and a loss. So both players have only lost once so far this tournament in individual games. However, Resende has been able to find those victories a little bit more consistently than Maxi VIP.
And Resende just seems to have something about him. When the pressure is on his shoulders, he has risen to the occasion so far, and there's no bigger occasion than a grand final with everything on the line here. But for Maxi VIP, this is new territory for him, Dan. Never made a championship Sunday, and now all the hopes of not only complexity but North America rest on his shoulders.
And the hoodies are very good for a number of things, keeping your head warm, but apparently hiding behind them as well, as both players watch on as their teammates have all sorts of responsibility about their FIFA careers and their possibilities of lifting a trophy here. Not only is it about pride, but also the winner taking home $40,000, 2,000 Global Series ranking points for the winning team as well. 2,000 each, that is, which would surely be enough to take you up into the top 5 of the Global Series rankings and get you ever closer to what everyone seeks, the E-World Cup.
Well, there's a chance here early on. R9 on the turn, maybe just a little bit off balance there for Resende and 11s, and Complexity and Maxi VIP. They managed to defend what has been a 10-minute period of early pressure here from the Brazilian. And now, finally, Maxi VIP can build from the back. A little switch of play here to Robertson. He'll take his time here just to settle into the game.
And one leg of FIFA is so different to the normal kind of FIFA scene that we see in the Global Series, where individual competition, you get to play 2 legs, you get to play 180 minutes. But when you're thrown into the deep end like this, you've only got 90 minutes to show what you're made of. It's really about pure aggression and being able to show and demonstrate your skills in those 90 minutes, rather than being able to read your opponent and change what you do. Those kind of players thrive in a 2-leg environment. But players like Resende, they just come out of the blocks firing. They're so good in front of goal. And that's why Resende has such a good record in this competition.
And also the fact that it's just the 1 leg here really does emphasize the fact of how important the first goal can be. If you can back that, you're almost halfway there. For these players, they'll know that as well. They won't want to make any mistakes. They will want to make it as difficult as possible for their opponents to get towards goal. But here's Ruud Gullit inching his way forward for 11s. Kevin De Bruyne trying to cover the space in that central defensive midfield position. Vieira makes the tackle.
Great tackle from Vieira, and just ensuring that you stay close to the striker. So many times we've seen R9 be able to turn there or scoop turn around the defender, but as long as you stay on the right side of him and you predict it correctly, you should usually always be able to take the ball back.
Complete and utter focus on the faces of both of these players. You can see it on the left-hand side of your screen. 11's coming forward now. It's Resende. Interchanges passes with both the fullback and Kylian Mbappe. Messi dropping into the hole just between the midfield and the defence, and there's that attempted first-time fake shot to try and burst past the defender. But Virgil van Dijk holds strong.
And Resende is going to struggle to break through this defence of Maxi VIP as well. He's only conceded 4 goals in the 6 games he's played of individual competition. 4 of those games have all been clean sheets for him as well. It's just 2 games where he conceded 2 goals each, and that's why his record looks a little bit worse, but it's still a very impressive individual record for him.
Just to remind you all as well, we need to have a result at the end of this game, so if we are equal on the scoreline after 90 minutes, then extra time and, dare I say, penalties are going to come into play. It's a little bit dangerous there as R9 had his back to goal. Van Dijk did well once again.
A good sign for Resende, though, is Maxi VIP, despite having a good defensive record, he struggled to score goals in the 1v1s. Finding 6 goals from 6 games. On average, a goal a game. I mean, I say that's good in a 90-minute competition. Resende has certainly been finding more goals in his particular victories, but he just needs to get that first one to open this one up, I feel.
There's a nice ball into R9 there, just dropping deep once again to try and link up the play. 10 minutes till half-time here in what will be the final game of FIFA to decide who will be our champion. Maxi VIP wins the ball back. And you have to say he's defended absolutely superbly so far, Dan.
Hasn't missed a step yet, hasn't made a mistake. And that's what Resende has to try and do. Try and encourage that mistake with a little bit of pressure, but whilst also maintaining his own composure as well at the back, ensuring he doesn't just press a little bit too much and leave himself exposed. You can see there he presses up with one of the centre-backs and then he drops back ever so slightly, almost trying to bait the pass so he can then intercept it.
This is the first time really we've seen the ball in the 11's third of the pitch so far in this first half, and again nothing quite coming from it. Not quite finding the rhythm in that final third so far, Maxi VIP. Resende certainly has been on top, as he will have possession here for potentially the final attack here of our first half.
It's deja vu for Ethan, just watching on, losing his 1v1 game but then winning the 2v2 alongside Resende.
R9 again trying to get in behind, and a beautiful little ball roll there for Cristiano Ronaldo as we're into stoppage time. Is there going to be a goal here right at the end of the first half? No, there isn't. The referee blows his whistle, and we are still all tied up.
You can see the difference as well. Encouragement from Joxan, just clapping his hands, say, yep, good half, well played. Ethan, though, just still nervously watching on. He knows that what Resende is capable of. Doesn't need to encourage him necessarily, but this is the difference. We've got the inexperienced player in the seat for complexity, but we have the experienced player in the seat for 11s. Resende has been there, done that. He's been in the latter stages of competition. Even though he doesn't have a major trophy to his name just yet, he's been fairly close in competitions.
Second half underway then. And it will be Maxi VIP for complexity who'll have the first attack of the game here. Messi managed to get isolated there, R9. Just a second, there was a glimpse of space for complexity to go forward, but some of the under-hit pass there from Ruud Gullit just presents possession back once again to Resende.
Recycling the play. Now is Resende. I think he's being given the opportunity of possession by Maxi VIP. Maybe too much respect being given by Maxi, to be honest. However, completely understandable when you do look at the record of how Resende's been playing at this tournament.
Well, there's the ball over top to find Cristiano Ronaldo. Carlos Alberto comes back, the icon fullback, to make the tackle on a man who, when his career ends, will surely find himself with an icon foot item in the FIFA series, whenever that may be. And here is Cristiano Ronaldo once again. R9 again just can't quite turn away. And Maxi VIP in those situations has defended so well. It's so difficult when R9 has his back to goal to be able to make that standing tackle without getting rolled or fake shot coming in.
We just need to see something a little bit different, I think, from Resende. He's trying to drive that pass into R9 every time, and it's becoming a little bit predictable now. Maxi VIP has got the read time and time again. So I'd like to see Resende maybe just drive something out wide, try and push into the box with one of his wingers.
It's a test of concentration in defence. You've only got to get it wrong once. And that could be the grand final gone. But here comes Resende again, 60 minutes on the clock. Just to reiterate what I said earlier as well, if we have no goals in this game, or if we're all tied up, after the 90 minutes are done, we go to extra time and potentially penalties as well. Messi turns. Here's Ruud Gullit arriving as well. Resende on the attack, and again, Maxi VIP wins the ball back.
Yeah, he's just rock solid at the back at the moment, not offering up any sort of space whatsoever. Not even giving it an inch to Resende.
And you've got to think back to that Fnatic game that Resende played. Resende pretty much is doing to him what Tex did to him.
And it was the set piece, wasn't it, that allowed Resende to take the lead against Fnatic. A very well-worked set piece where he just dinked it into Van Dijk, who then nodded it to Mbappe, who smashed it home with his left foot. So if I'm Resende, I'm thinking, all right, I'm not being able to play my normal game here. I'm not being able to get the ball to R9. Try and get a couple of shots away. Maybe you'll get another corner out of it, and maybe you can come up with some magic once again.
Here comes Resende again. Possession heavily favouring him. As Messi again tries to twist and turn. We've seen so many big goals from big players so far in this tournament. As Van Dijk just manages to thread the needle there and get that long ball away.
You know, and for all this pressure, for all this possession from Resende, all Maxi VIP needs is just that one opportunity now, just that one counter-attack, and he'll have that chance to win this title for complexity.
And I think the longer the game goes on, the more that Resende is going to be thinking about that. Just one chance is all it takes to win a game of FIFA. And if that chance was to fall to Maxi VIP, does he have the ice in his veins to put it away? R9 into Messi then. Well, rolls away from Delic for just a moment. And then it will be an offside call.
And this is a good chance for both players to really just have a little think about what they want to achieve in the next 15 minutes of the game. Are you playing for extra time? Are you even considering penalties as an option? Does Maxi VIP want to continue down this route of absorbing pressure and hoping for that one chance to take this away from Resende? Or does he now just come out of the blocks and say, I'm going to make some substitutions, I'm going to change something in my formation, maybe encourage my fullbacks to also join the attack, and I'm going to try and win this here and now?
Well, Resende's brought on Kevin De Bruyne in the place of N'Golo Kante in midfield, which is going to suggest he's going to have a few more forward runs from midfield. Obviously, Kevin De Bruyne, incredible shooting statistics as well as a 5-star weak foot. So maybe he'll be the man who can unpick the lock here in that midfield battle.
It definitely shows that he has some attacking intent here, but you know, you can see it from his gameplay all game long. He's been trying to break down this wall. Thankfully, Hullit's there to challenge Cristiano Ronaldo. Cristiano Ronaldo, who usually bullies fullbacks. Well, that's why Hullit's on the pitch, because he manages to fill every single gap that's left open.
Into the last 10 minutes of regulation time then. And the same pattern of play is continuing here as Resende just keeps knocking at the door. Complexity holding strong. But it just takes that one chance, that one strike on goal for either of these players. And at this point in the game, Dan, it could be a championship deciding one.
Maxi VIP won the ball back and desperately wanted to get away quickly with it. But again, Resende, even though he's been the one dominating the possession, he's been the one attacking, he's still switched on when it comes to defending.
Well, here comes Maxi VIP for complexity. Been on the back foot for so much of this game. Maybe this is his time to shine. Messi onto that right foot, almost gets it back onto the left. 11's hold strong. Again,
I just think maybe a little bit too predictable. Resende knew exactly where he wanted to go with Messi there. You're not going to be taking a finesse from that distance on the right foot of Messi, and a low Dreven probably wouldn't have even challenged the keeper.
Well, Kevin De Bruyne has found Kylian Mbappe now with a beautiful ball over the top. In this full-back position, cut back Kante with the tackle. And a vital one at this stage of the game. 90th minute. Maxi VIP with the last attack of the game. Otherwise, we're going to extra time.
And why not just pump the ball down the wing and cross the ball in? Take a risk at this point. Neither player has really done so, as we are going to be going to extra time. 0 shots from Maxi VIP. He just hasn't been able to do anything against Resende. But to be honest, on the other side, I didn't see the statistic, but Resende also hasn't really been able to get any shots away.
Nothing clear-cut, you have to say. Nothing clear-cut for either player.
Pure frustration for both players, and that is not the kind of mindset you want when you're going into a game. When you're going into extra time of a grand final, you don't want to be frustrated. You want to be cool. You want to be calm. You want to be thinking, all right, yeah, I'm comfortable with my attack, but neither players look comfortable.
So extra time it is. The two teams cannot be separated. The two players cannot be separated. Is it going to be a mistake? Will it be a moment of magic? Text called Resende Dynamo. Now maybe he's going to have to come up with a new trick here to break the deadlock. Pull it into Ronaldo, round the corner here to R9. Vieira again strong in the tackle there for Maxi VIP. But the pressure's still coming here for 11s, and the pressure's still on. Blocked from Mane. Complexity are under the cosh here. R9 Ronaldo into Cristiano Ronaldo. Alisson with a save to his right.
This is better though from Resende. Get some shots away, start testing the goalkeeper. Maybe you'll get a lucky bounce here or there. Give yourself a chance. Don't always wait for that perfect opportunity.
From the resulting corner hit, Resende resets the play.
And after such a creative corner that we saw against Fnatic this time, he's just decided, no, I'm going to take this one slow.
Mane back into Hullet. Ronaldo makes the interception, and with 101 minutes on the clock, Maxi VIP has the chance to get out of his half and start his own attack.
Joxan and Ethan just watching on, feeling every single pass, every single shot, every single block, as it could make or break their season. Whilst 2,000 Global Series ranking points would most likely take you into the top 5, just the 1,400 for finishing in second, maybe into the top 10. Probably enough to get you to playoffs, but you'd still need more for the World Cup.
Stoppage time at the end of the first half of extra time. Resende again on the attack. Kante steps in. Referee blows his whistle. We're going the distance here, ladies and gentlemen.
Still no shots from Max VIP. 3 though from Resende. He's starting to actually take some shots from distance now, starting to test the keeper a little bit. There was one opening where I thought maybe he would be able to get the first goal. But I've got to say, at the moment, this has penalties written all over it, Mark.
At this stage of the game, at this stage of the tournament, whatever happens, there's going to be heartbreak for either 11s or Complexity.
Without a doubt, both teams could deserve to lift this trophy, to deserve to be the champions.
But we can only have one winner. As Maxi VIP and Complexity come forward. One chance is all it takes. Ronaldo into Messi. Tight dribbling here. Kante continues his run momentarily. Given away though. And now Resende with 111 minutes on the clock. Maybe, just maybe, this is the attack that wins it all.
And not only does it get more difficult because there's more pressure, you start to worry a little bit more as the game goes on, but there's more fatigue for the players as well. It's harder to jockey with your central defensive midfielders. It's harder to pull out your centre-backs, to press with your full-backs. Can either of these players take advantage of that?
Robertson with the interception. Maxi VIP with some players high up the pitch here, and this gives the opportunity for Resende to attack himself.
We've heard Resende throughout 2v2s, throughout 1v1s say, look, take that free attack at the end of the game. I wonder whether he'll just hold on to the ball here, or whether he is just saying, look, no, I want this. I don't want any possibility of it going to penalties.
Here's Mbappe then. Surely we cannot have drama like a last-minute winner here from Resende. 11s with the opportunity here to win it all. De Bruyne twisting, turning. Again, defensively, Maxi VIP holds strong. And Dan Gaskin with that clearance, we are going to the spot.
And this is where nerves really come into play as Joksan turns. He can barely even watch.
Kevin De Bruyne will step up first for 11s. Saved! Complexity with the chance to go into the lead early. Neymar versus Alisson. Saved again!
What a start to this shootout. Mane now for 11s. Can you beat the keeper? Go the right way. This time it's in. This time it's secured, and 11s get the advantage as Kante now steps up for Complexity. Not saved this time. 1-1.
All tied up then. Nothing to split these two players. Nothing to split these two teams. Mbappe with the penalty. Saved again! And Complexity again with the chance to take the lead. Ronaldo cannot beat the goalkeeper.
I couldn't write it better myself. Both missed again. R9 though for 11s. Saved! And Complexity have the chance to take the lead. Hullet with the right foot, bottom left. And it's now a real chance.
11s have to score here to stay in this final. Saved! It's saved! And Complexity are your champions!
Maxi VIP, who could barely even get a shot away throughout the entire final, makes up for it in the penalty shootout. A warm embrace between teammates and coach, as Complexity have done it. The North American God Squad that weren't expected to even get to a grand final have won the eClub World Cup.
Absolutely unbelievable scenes in our grand final here in Milan. But Maxi VIP came in with a game plan. It went all the way to penalties. And somehow, some way, he held his nerve.
Huge commiserations to 11s. No one wants to lose on a penalty shootout. No one wants to go out on a penalty shootout. As we can take a look at that final penalty once again. Had to score with Hullet. But again, that method of just shifting to one side and diving to the other has worked absolutely perfectly.
Look at Maxi VIP. He couldn't believe what he'd managed to do.
It was an awesome final. Went all the way to the third game, of course. Last time we spoke, Yoksan was kind of joking a little bit. He said it helped you get to the World Cup, but you're the one that actually had to finish it off by winning that penalty.
Yeah, take it right.
This guy, man, he's a North American legend. He's won 2 events now, been to a console final. For me, this is the best North American player ever. And,
you mentioned that was one of your first penalty shootouts in a competition, is that right?
I've had, no, that's not my first penalty shootout, but it's my first win. I've probably like 0-8 in event penalty shootouts. But after last event in Atlanta when I lost, my mom was like, if you don't practice penalties and you go to an event and you lose again, you're done.
Nice, good advice from Mum there.
I practiced a little bit, and I mean, it's heartbreaking for Resende. Based off of the run of play, he probably deserved to win, but it's FIFA.
So we thought Complexity didn't have a coach. Turns out it's your mum.
My mom and my little brother, my biggest supporter. My dad who came, Mika, Gabriel, and just everybody in Complexity in general. Just like, this is the best org that somebody can be on. Jason, Soren, Josh, just everybody in the staff, just amazing. The best support.
What do you have to say to 11s then?
They played a pretty good game. I guess you can say that nobody expected both teams to be in the final, so I'm pretty happy. They walk away with a lot of points and a lot of cash too, so they shouldn't feel ashamed of their performance, and good game.
How are you going to celebrate? That's what we want to know.
I don't know.
We were thinking of going to the Inter AC Milan game. Hopefully we can
we'll
get
we'll see.
With some tickets.
Yeah. Well, you got $40,000 now, so that might get you in.
Yeah, you just get a tout outside. We're all right. Yeah.
Talk about the actual cup itself. It's a 4 years old tournament now, the FIFA eClub World Cup. You guys have won it, and you mentioned that Yoksan's no stranger to winning tournaments, but this is the first for you guys to win the FIFA eClub World Cup for Complexity, for North America as well. How's it feel?
I mean, words can't really describe this. I mean, this is everything you work for, is to come to an event and just win it, especially an event where it's your organization on the line, and it's amazing. And also, I just wanted to say to all the people who are like playing at events and not having that same success, or playing qualifiers over and over again and not doing well. Prior to this is my 7th event, and the furthest I've ever gone is out of Swiss. So, you know, just like that, things can change.
I think it's a great message. There's obviously a load of players out there trying to get to this exact point and are struggling. You know, it's hard. It's a percentage numbers game at the end of the day. Most people won't make it to Championship Sunday, let alone the end. But you've done it. You just got to stick with it and keep going. So well done to Complexity.
Would you say... Sorry, one final question before we give you your prize. What would you say? I feel like, you know, to end up learning quite a lot from every tournament that you compete in. What have you taken away from this tournament? What will you take forward with you?
No, I mean, I guess you can learn. I learned that North America is not to be messed with. We're pretty good in FIFA as well. Only 2 teams, but we made it through. We're the champions, and just keep grinding.
Yeah. Keep grinding.
Well done, guys. I've got something for you. You've earned it. Round of applause, everyone.
Let's give a big cheer for our winners. Complexity. Yes.
Absolutely unbelievable stuff from Complexity. You can see it there in the faces of Joksan, and Maxi VIP. That's the reaction to winning. That's what it meant. Ice in the veins from Maxi VIP, but Dan, on reflection, humble in victory.
Very humble, and I mean, admitted that he had lost 8 penalty shootouts prior to that, so an amazing feeling not only to win your first penalty shootout, but for it to reward you $40,000 and 2,000 Global Series ranking points. They very much deserve to be in the final, and I like that he was humble in the way he said, yes, Resende had the run of play, he was arguably the better player, but at the end of the day, you can only do what's put in front of you. He played a game of FIFA, he got to the penalty shootout, and he won that shootout.
So this was the road to becoming a champion for Complexity Gaming. They took down Neo in the first game, they worked incredibly hard to get to that grand final. And let's just remind ourselves that after winning the first game, you know, they were put on the back foot again, the 2v2. You know, they lost that one. It was all on Maxi VIP. Absolutely unbelievable now.
It was absolutely unbelievable. But of course, we have our winners. We also have losers as well. They are on the stage with the boys.
Commiserations, guys. What do you think, what do you think went wrong?
Well, my performance in the first leg was everything what was wrong. I've just played poorly, not up to my usual standards, and I can only blame myself for that.
Penalty is a horrible way to go out, of course. I wouldn't wish it on anyone, but you haven't had a lot of time to let it sink in. But I think in time, when you look back, you'd be really happy with your performance. Unbelievable, first outing as 11s, a bright future ahead of you. Are you able to see the tournament in a positive way?
Yeah, I'm a little bit bad now because for sure we want to be a champion. But I think we played very good all tournament, and now we need to work more for go back and win.
What would you say the main learnings for you guys have been? Different amounts of experience at events as we've touched upon, but Ethan, this is a massive benchmark moment for you that I'd suggest you can now improve on.
Yeah, it's huge. I've honestly I've only qualified for 2 major events this year. I made last 16, now made last 2 here with Resende. The learning I'm gained from these events is huge, and I reckon we can take it to the next level. And maybe for the next eClub World Cup, we'll win that one.
I think if I was to add on anything that the last guys just said, which was about Maxi mentioning people that have been working for a long time, maybe not quite getting to where they want to get to, I'd equally say Ethan's a great example of someone who's been backed by an org, and he's gone and done what he's done here this weekend, which is fantastic. So imagine what you guys could do at home if you get that back in. If you're an esport guys watching, look for new talent. There's loads out there, and you can get rewarded really quickly.
Well, look, commiserations, you guys. You performed incredibly well. I think we just got one last look at the draw, but that's it. So that's what happened today, if you missed it.
Yep, that's the story. Complexity are the champions, thoroughly deserved. Well done to both the lads, Yoxan and Maxi VIP.
Well, it's been an amazing day, so that's goodbye from me. It is goodbye from Spencer. It's been supreme. We'll see you next time.
It's saved! And Complexity are your champions!